Hello, everyone. I'm Christine Matthews, founder and CEO of Never Journey Alone, outpatient mental health group practice, and NJA business group coaching and consulting to mental health professionals who are looking to start or grow their private practice. I want to share something with you that has been on my heart lately. When people see Never Journey Alone today, they see a successful practice, they see a team, they see programs, they see coaching, and they see opportunities. But what they don't see is where it started. There was a season of my life when I worked overnight shifts in corrections. I would work all night, come home exhausted, and instead of going straight to bed, I would sit down and work on my dream. That dream eventually became Never Journey Alone. I didn't start with a lot of money. I didn't have investors. I didn't have a large business loan. And I didn't have someone who handed me a blueprint. But what I had was a vision, and a vision for my future, a vision for my family, and a vision for my community. And while I was afraid, I made a decision that changed my life. I decided I was no longer going to spend my life only building someone else's vision while ignoring my own. Now, let me be clear. Business ownership is not for everyone. Some people thrive working within organizations and have amazing careers. There is absolutely nothing wrong with that. But this message isn't for everyone. This message is for the therapist who has been saying for years, I want to start my own practice. I want more flexibility. I want more freedom. I want to make a bigger impact. I want to build something for myself. Yet, year after year, the dream stays in the same place. Not because you aren't talented, not because you aren't qualified, not because you aren't capable, but because fear keeps convincing you to wait. Fear says you're not ready. You need more money. You need another certification. You need more experience. You need to wait for the perfect time. But can I tell you something? The perfect time rarely comes. Most successful business owners didn't start because they felt ready. They started because they decided. And I think that's the conversation that we need to have. Because every day I talk to mental health professionals who tell me they want ownership. And then 6 months later, they're still researching. A year later, they're still researching. 3 years later, they are still researching. The dream didn't die. The dream simply never became a decision. Meanwhile, they're still working evenings, still missing their family time, still feeling financially stretched to the max, still wondering what their life could look like if they built something of their own. The truth is, waiting has a cost. Staying stuck has a cost. Confusion has a cost. Indecision has a cost. And often those costs are much greater than people realize. One of the biggest myths that I hear is this: I'll figure it out on my own. And yes, you might. But the real question is, how long will it take you? How many mistakes will you make? How much money will you spend fixing the problems that could have been avoided? How many years will pass while you're trying to piece everything together? I learned a long time ago that seeking support isn't weakness, it's a strategy. Clarity speeds up results. That's why I invested in learning. That's why I sought guidance. And that's why I created NJA Business Group. Not because I want to sell you coaching, but because I wanted to create a roadmap that I didn't have when I started. Today, I help mental health professionals build private practices or mental wellness centers through using the CLEAR method. And this is the method that I used when I built Never Journey Alone. And here's what makes our approach different. We're not teaching theory. I've lived it. I built Never Journey Alone while working overnight shifts. I grew from a solo to a group practice. I've hired clinicians, I've built systems, and I've created infrastructure, navigated growth, made mistakes, and I've learned lessons along the way. And now I help others avoid the unnecessary detours. In fact, Never Journey Alone has created opportunities for clinicians to access an infrastructure and support at a fraction of what it would cost them if they built everything completely on their own. Because I believe ownership should be accessible. I believe talented clinicians shouldn't spend years struggling simply because they don't know where to turn. And I believe our communities need more ethical, sustainable, clinician-led practices. So let me ask you something. If you've been saying to yourself, I want to start a private practice for more than a year, what are you waiting for? And more importantly, what is the waiting costing you? Because 5 years from now, you can still be thinking about ownership, or you can be living in it. The life you want may be sitting on the other side of a decision that you're afraid to make. I know that I was. And while I can't make that decision for you, I can tell you this. Ownership changed my life. It created opportunities for myself and my family. It expanded my impact to reach more people in our community. It allowed me to serve my community in ways I never imagined. And now I have the privilege of helping other mental health professionals build futures they can be proud of. So if you're then carrying this dream of ownership, stop telling yourself no before life does. Explore it. Ask questions. Build a plan. Start building a support system. Take the first step, because the biggest risk isn't always starting. Sometimes the biggest risk is spending years wishing that you had. If you're ready to have a serious conversation about building your private practice or a mental health center, I invite you to connect with me. Visit my website at njabusinessgroup.com, schedule a consultation. Let's discuss where you want to go and where the CLEAR method is the right fit for you. Because nobody journeys alone. I'm Christine Matthews, a licensed clinical social worker, CEO and owner of Never Journey Alone. And we will talk soon, and you take care of yourself.